Hey everyone, this is Demari, and this is, of course, if you haven't been introduced yet, Mr. Crow. He says hello. And welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well over this amazing new moon period. As you know, this is the new moon in Cancer tarot reading, and I'll be doing this particular video for all 3 fire signs, okay? So this will be timestamped, so if you want to just skip ahead to your particular sign, the timestamps are in the description box below, so check it out. So just to let you know, I'll be using 3 different types of decks. The first deck I'll be pulling from is the Isis Oracle deck. The second deck I'll be pulling 2 cards from is the Moonology deck. And then finally, I'll be pulling some tarot using the Intuitive. So let's get into it then. Pop that maybe over here. All right, so I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's been checking out my videos, who's liked, commented, and subscribed, and even shared my videos. It means the world to me, so thank you so much for your support. I hope this reading will serve you well. Please keep in mind, as always, it is a general reading, so it's not going to apply to each and every one of you. But you can take a look at these readings in regards to your sun, moon, and rising signs. So take a look at your natal chart, see the corresponding zodiac signs, and see which video's title resonates for you most. As I said, it is a general reading, so don't force any energies to fit your situation if it doesn't already apply or it doesn't resonate, okay? Just take what does. If none of it does, it's not your message, okay? Just so you know. All right, so let's get stuck into it. So the first sign I'll be reading for will be the sign of Aries. So Aries, let's see what's going on with you over this new moon transition. Ooh, nice. So the card you got from the Isis Oracle deck is Key of Life, spinning the Ankh. Amazing. Hope you can see that. Sorry about the reflection. Awesome reading. Awesome card to get in a reading is what I mean. Okay, so let's have a look and see what the booklet it says has to say about this energy. It is a new deck for me, by the way, so I'm still not familiar with all the messaging behind each card yet, but I am getting to grips with it. I really love this deck, so I hope you enjoy it also. So, just to read from the passage, and I'll make sure you can see the card also. Hopefully that's clear enough for you. So, Key of Life. The Key of Life is the mysterious Ankh, the looped cross held in the hand of Isis. The mystery is opening to you now. The Ankh portends to new life being born through you now. It could be in a creative sense, or in a physical sense, in terms of health, or even a child that wishes to be born, a new project that needs to be created in service to humanity. This new life being born in whatever form will enrich in your life, bringing you more into wholeness and fulfillment. Let it happen. Amazing, okay? So this is the birthing of something very important, okay? Something that is a game changer of sorts, right? So as it said, it could be that you embark on a new creative project, that you start, manifesting your ideas, you start bringing it into fruition. Perhaps you may even be settling down and find out that you're pregnant for some of you, or you may find out that someone in your family, someone very close to you, is about to give birth, right? So interesting. So let's have a look at what else we can uncover in regards to the Moonology deck. Yeah, something wishes to be created in some capacity. There's either some vision that is essential to your path that is coming into creation at this point, or you're going to be tapping into energies that's going to help you in some kind of important soul mission that you have that's coming into your awareness. Or as I said, you may very well find yourself being a parent, grandparent, godparent to a child, right? Interesting. So let's see what else we can find out for you over this time, Aries. Okay, so with regards to the Moonology deck, the first card you've got is Work Through Your Fears. Full moon in Scorpio. Sorry, new moon in Scorpio. So it's funny that you got this card actually, because this came up for another sign. I can't remember who it was. I think it was for more than one sign anyway. So this is kind of a reoccurring theme coming up here. So I feel like what this is essentially communicating is that there may still be some concerns around whatever it is you're trying to create, or perhaps whatever you feel like is being brought forth, right? So especially if this is a case that you are pregnant, or that there is a new addition to the family in some context, you may be concerned about your finances and how you're going to be able to support the child with everything being so uncertain in the world at this time. But it's really telling you to not fear, that you are being assisted at this time, and that you have the skills and you have the means, right? You'll find the means to support this life, right? That you know, nothing is unintentional when it comes to the energies and things, a lot of things that are taking place right now, because there is a huge transition. It's very much this energy of release and obtaining, right? So it's like the release of fear and the obtaining of abundance, right? So there is a death, rebirth kind of, you know, a vibe to all that's taking place right now. So there's no need to fear, okay? It's a part of the process. Whatever's taking place is a part of this journey. So if you have found out that you're pregnant, don't be afraid, okay? That you're going to be more supported than you know. Obviously, of course, what you do moving forward is, of course, your decision. It's got nothing to do with that. But it's just, if you're just concerned about finances and you're happy and you're over the moon about the pregnancy, but you're just a little bit concerned of how you're going to go about it, how you can be sure that you can support the child, don't fear, okay? Support will come in, and you may find you have more abundance coming in than you realize, all right? So work through your fear and know that you will be well, okay? If it's in regards to starting a creative project, going off on your own, perhaps it's the first time you're freelancing or changing direction of such a dramatic proportion, there might be a little bit of fear around that, or hesitancy or self-doubt, but that's normal as long as you don't allow it to become the you know, the main energy, right, that's kind of guiding this process. You don't want that, okay? So anything that you feel is a limiting belief around whatever it is you're trying to create, allow the thought to pass through and to release it immediately. You don't want to harbor any negative feelings around something that's otherwise very positive, right? Okay. And then the next card you got from the Moonology deck is the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. Amazing. So something is not quite coming together yet, but it is coming into fruition, okay? Like it's not that you're seeing the results yet, but obviously, you know, it's something that's been in the works, I feel, for some time. Particularly, like, obviously, if it is in the sense that you are pregnant, or you found out that your family's expanding, you may have found out several months into the pregnancy, right? Or even a couple of months, to, like, you know, 2 or 3 months into the pregnancy before you realize that that's the case. If it's in regards to a creative endeavor, you know, a soul calling, some kind of soul mission, yeah, there is a lot of support coming in. There's a lot of energy that's being fed into this purpose, right? There's a lot of it's gaining momentum dramatically, because it's something you are becoming more and more aligned to, right? That you're becoming more and more attuned to the same frequency as whatever it is that you feel you're being called to do, right? So as you're raising your vibration, you are getting to the point where, you know, you're getting that small nod from the universe, like, now's the time, right? So you're almost there is what it's saying. Like, it's not quite there yet, but you are getting very close to that point. So, you know, it's really picking up pace. So you're going to see a lot of changes. You're going to see a lot of things begin to manifest that maybe you've never seen play out in such a way before, right? So we'll look at the tarot now to get more insight to see how else this can relate to your circumstances. And again, it's going to be very, very different for each and every one of you, so we'll see. All right, so the first card with regards to the tarot is the Four of Swords in reverse. So air energy, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So yeah, this is talking about the areas of yourself where, you know, these self-limiting beliefs, doubts, fears, concerns, conditioning from old societal structures that are no more relevant to where we're headed, are needing to be addressed, because these are the things that can hold you back from really realizing your potential, right? So it's worth taking a look at that and see what is it that you've been carrying that, first of all, may not be yours. Second of all, may be from a previous timeline or a previous cycle that's just residual. And also what you've been carrying as a limiting belief since childhood, right? Because if you look at all of those areas, you'll see clear patterns of where things have just been repeating and how they've been repeating in your life. And then you can start looking at how to free yourself from those things entirely, right? In order to heal it and to purge it. So next card you have is the Seven of Swords, so more air energy. So yeah, there is some, again, I feel like what could be the case here, I don't feel like this is to do with self-sabotage or deception or anything like that, although a little bit of self-sabotage can come into play if you allow your fears to get the better of you. But I feel like this is more talking about the need for self-mastery, because yeah, it's maybe you felt like things have never quite come together in the past, so you're very dubious on whether or not that will take place now. So it's more about facing your, you know, your pessimism around this situation, right? Especially say if you've been pregnant in the past, or you thought you were pregnant but then you took another test and you weren't, and you've been hoping to fall pregnant, or perhaps, you know, if unfortunately you've had a miscarriage or something like that, you may be a bit fearful around that energy. But I feel like this time it could be very different, you know, because there is real divine protection here. So there may be some fear around that, which is totally understandable, you know, because when, you know, it comes to anything regarding to health, there's no guarantees, right? So I do understand that. But, you know, you're being asked to have faith, you know, and to try and remain as optimistic as possible at this time, because what you give energy to is going to impact your reality. So don't feed that fear, okay? That's the last thing you want to do at this point. And if it's the case of you trying to, you know, create something new, a new project, perhaps embark in a new career, a new hobby, there might be some excuses you've been telling yourself as to why you can't do it now, or why you're lacking something. And it's asking you to put those excuses aside and just start really looking at how you can start accomplishing these things. Because now it's getting close to the time of, like, you need to be on the ball and you need to be, you know, moving on this, right? So there's certain things you may need to already start looking at planning very soon, right? If you're not already. Or at least getting to the point where you're starting to, you know, seriously address what is needed in order to move forward on this path, right? And then finally you have the Page of Cups in reverse, so water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So yeah, I feel like you're not quite ready to take that leap of faith yet, you know, because there's still a lot of things coming together at this time. There's still some inner healing that needs to take place as well, Aries, and to confront those limiting beliefs, as I said. Sorry, I just pressed something on my laptop, so I just wanted to check it was all good. It's on a shelf right now. Anyway, so yeah, it might be a case of that, you know, you have to address those things first before you can truly get to the point where now's the time, start getting your plans solidified, start, you know, speaking to whoever you need to speak to start making things happen, right? And I feel like once you do that, and once you really just address the things that make you feel uncomfortable, you know, not confident, unsure, that makes you feel like, you know, maybe it's silly to even give this so much time and thought, you know, anything that kind of makes you backtrack on this path. Now's a good time to address those things firstly, and then you can take those steps. So I hope that helps you anyway, Aries. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found that useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd love to see you here as a part of the community. And yeah, I hope that gives you a little bit of insight and support, all right? So I'm sending you lots of love, lots of positive vibes, and I'll be doing your monthly reading very soon. So speak to you in a bit. So the next sign I'm going to be doing will be Leo. So Leo, let's see what these new moon energies have to say for you this time. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So Leo, you got Eye of Horus, divine awakening, divine perception. Now that is a powerful card. Eye of Horus. Just to put it out there. And that's funny because the last sign actually got the Ankh, which I also have on my hand here, the Key of Life. So yeah, you got the Eye of Horus. All right, so let's see what the booklet has to say in regards to this energy, because that's very powerful. That is spiritual awakening. That is tapping into your divine energies, and that of, you know, the sun god, the archetypal sun god energy. So let's have a look. Eye of Horus. Okay. So I hope you can see that. Sorry about the reflection. They're just very shiny. So the Eye of Horus brings divine perception, protection, and insight. You are gifted with certain spiritual abilities, including divine sight, that are awakening and growing now. You have much divine support and protection so that you may grow into your abilities and serve others with your divine gifts. Trust your perception and know that you are divinely protected. Amazing. Okay. So you were being really called to step up to the plate pretty much. So there might have been some aspects of yourself, certain spiritual abilities that have been lying dormant for some time, but those are being awakened. Those are being stimulated, right? So that you can tap deeper into these aspects of yourself, so that you can use that wisdom, that inner knowing, and that clear seeing, right, to make significant changes along your path in your life, and also to assist others in their journey in some capacity. So some of you might even be hearing a calling now to do some spiritual work in some capacity, to serve in that sense. Maybe some of you will become light workers if you aren't already, or on the path of the shaman, the priestess, a witch, right? A mystic, a healer. Maybe you're doing divination like tarot, right? It'll be different for each and every one of you, but some of you, I feel like you're going to hear this calling, and you're going to step up and you're going to embark on some kind of spiritual journey whereby you're being called to actually be of service as well. So very, very interesting. But your third eye is going to be wakening up seriously. Like you're going to have a new perception entirely. Like it's, you know, hanged man amped up pretty much. So amazing. Okay, so let's have a look, Leo. So the first card you got is the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. So Aries also got this card, but in the other position. So this is what's currently taking place for you. Like you're already feeling this change, this shift within yourself, as well as surrounding you in your environment, okay? So you can already feel that your vibration is changing, and you may not have felt it in that way before. It may feel, or if you have, not on the level that, to the extent that you are now. So you're like, okay, what's happening? Like, what do I do with this energy, right? I know that there is meaning behind it. You're feeling that innately. You've got this inner knowing that's being activated and supercharged within you, but you're not quite sure where it's leading, what it's leading to, where you're headed. But the important thing is not to be so obsessed or so worried about the destination, but more knowing that you are on the journey, you know, that this leg of your journey has begun, essentially. And this energy is just going to keep increasing and rising within you to the point where you're going to really just have that knowing, you know, whatever questions that you have, you're going to realize are within, essentially. So awesome. I love this. That the answers is what I mean is the answers within. I don't know if I said that. You know what I mean. So moving on. The next card you got was a new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. Amazing. So you could be connecting with a Libra. But either way, I feel like this energy is suggesting that there is some equilibrium that's kind of being found. A new balance is being restored. I don't feel like, well, I say a new balance is being restored. I feel like a balance from the balance in a previous cycle is being restored, but only in order to open up a new cycle entirely, right? So there may be some level of reconciliation that's about to take place in order to free you from any residual energy of the past so that you can go full steam ahead with clear sight, clear mind, and be very present. So I like that a lot, okay? That's very, very good. So you, with this newness coming in, you might connect with someone on a very profound spiritual level. It can be romantic because it does mention romantic, but I feel like this can also be also spiritual, or aside from romantic, something spiritual, okay? So interesting. Well, let's have a look and see what the Tarot has to say for you, Leo, in regards to these energies. It's really interesting. It's yeah, you're going through a prominent transition at this time, Leo. I can feel it. Like, yeah, your vibration is shifting massively. So it might be a bit of an adjustment period, but it'll be okay. Any side effects you get from that will pass, just so you know. Especially if you get like tinnitus and a little bit of vertigo and nausea, like that's quite common. Or feeling like you have a bit of a cold, that tends to happen a lot. It's well known as a symptom of ascension and changes of frequency, you know. So just kind of ride it out. Unless it gets too bad, then you can obviously see a doctor and get more insight as to what else could be causing that. But if it's quite mild, it's probably a part of this, okay? But obviously, you know, if you're getting other symptoms or if it seems a bit more prominent than that, definitely get checked out. You know, I'm not a doctor, so they will be able to tell you what's going on. Okay, so regards to the tarot, then the first card you got is the Seven of Wands. So this is fire energy, your energy, okay, along with Sagittarius and Aries. So with the Seven of Wands in this position, I feel like what it's communicating is that you are really, yeah, you are really kind of on guard at the moment, because you're very much aware that this shift is taking place outside of you, and you're seeing significant changes in your reality as well. And you're probably feeling very different about your environment too. You might find yourself in an environment where you feel like you have to be more on guard. You have to be, you're kind of more withdrawn, because you're like, I'm not sure I belong here anymore, actually. Like, things are changing so fast and I'm feeling so different and I'm seeing things differently that I'm not even sure that this is where I want to be anymore, you know? So you may be a little bit more guarded around certain connections in certain places that you used to feel very much at home in. So, interesting. Okay. So the next card you got was the Nine of Wands, so more fire energy. Not surprised at all. So with alongside being on guard, you know, you're kind of, yeah, because there is a significant shift taking place and you've been through a lot. You've been through, you know, a lot of hefty energies, a lot of changes. You know, you went through it with a karmic cycle, for those of you that I'm picking up on. And as I said, you're dealing with the residual energy as well. So a lot of purging will be taking place for you at this time. Because as much as, you know, spiritual awakening and ascension is very powerful, it's very prominent, and there's a lot of beautiful benefits with that, it's not that it's an easy ride. There's always some challenges, and there's always like this rough period with it, right? So you may have been feeling that recently, but I feel like you're slowly coming out of that now, and you're going to see the beauty in it very shortly if you haven't already. Because you've already been through it, and you're learning your lessons, and you've released a lot of things. You're clearing up a lot of residual energy, as I said, from previous cycles, in order to put it to bed for good. And as such, you know, while obviously, yeah, you may have felt a bit like you've been through it, you're going to see how beneficial that is, though, and you're going to realize how much of a game changer this is. You know, you're going to look and feel very different, you know, and you're going to see things very differently. And then finally, the last card you have is the Four of Cups in reverse. So water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You could have any of those placements in your chart, or that could be relevant to yourself or someone else that you're connecting with. But either way, I feel like, yeah, with the Four of Cups here, it's like there may have been something you've been feeling like it's hard to release. And because there's some fear around the idea of trying to resolve this and you being rejected in some way, right? But I feel like whatever this situation is, whatever this residual energy is that's being addressed, that's being brought back to your awareness to be resolved, I think you're kind of coming to the realization that the fear that you have around being rejected or disregarded is not actually based in any actuality. It's just your fear, and that whatever the situation is that this is tied to is already done, right? It's already part of a past cycle. It's not part of your current your present circumstances, right? So what is there to be afraid of when it's no longer a part of your life? You know, so your best bet is to just clear that out of your energy field. Do what is needed to really resolve the situation, and just leave it up to the universe, release it, so that new energy can come in. You know, this new cycle can come in without any, you know, bumps and hiccups, you know, from the residual energy of a previous cycle. And especially if this is connected to a particular person, you know, that person, if they are being removed out of your life, is for a reason, because what was needed from this connection, what needed to be learned on both sides, is already taken place, right? So allow it to be, and who knows, maybe you will reconnect in the future, or perhaps you will embark in this new connection. But either way, I feel like whatever this connection was, in whatever context, that it's kind of served its purpose at this point. So the best thing you can do is just release, okay? So I hope that helps you, Leo. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found it useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And I'll be doing your monthly reading very, very soon. But in the meantime, sending you lots of love, best wishes, and it just looks incredible for you at the moment. So, you know, open yourself up to that strong frequency that's coming in for you. And who knows where you'll end up this time next year. So take care for now. Bye. Last but not least, we'll be looking at the reading for the sign of Sagittarius. So, Sagittarius, let's see what's going on for you over this new moon period in the sign of Cancer. The card you got, Sagittarius, from the Isis Oracle deck was Rising Sun, the Divine Solar Child Reborn. Amazing. I love all this solar energy that's coming up at the time of a lunar, not a lunar eclipse. I keep saying lunar eclipse, it's not a lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. So I love that this sun energy is really coming through prominently. It's indicating the kinds of changes that are taking place. So this is very relevant to you at this time, Sagittarius. So that's awesome. Let's see what the booklet has to say in relation to this energy. I hope you can see this without too much reflection. So the rising sun, the divine solar child reborn. A dark phase and struggle is over. A new phase is upon you, one of hope, glory, light, and triumph. It is won through boldness, persistence. Even when you felt like giving up, you chose to stay strong, to surrender to the divine, and continue with the path. You have been through much, and now victory is upon you, beloved. For the divine solo child, a new consciousness within you is born. Interesting, okay? So this is really saying that you are going through this rebirth, okay? That in mind, body, and spirit, there are significant changes taking place for you now. That you are being worked upon heavily, you know, in the best way possible by the divine, by the ascendant energies that are coming through at this time. So now is a really good time for you. If you're getting like good sunshine in your area at this time, bask in the sunlight as soon as possible, right? Because that energy is going to help supercharge this process for you. And it's going to be very beneficial for your cells, okay? You're going to feel it on a DNA level. So it's really important that you bask in this energy, okay? Because you're going through a rebirth, a complete rebirth. You went through it. You went through some heavy cycles, Sagittarius, in order to get to this point where you could be reborn. Amazing. Okay, so let's have a look at what the Moonology deck has to say for you at this time. So again, real maternal energies coming through with that rising sun energy. So you may have to nurture your inner child at this point as well, and be very, very understanding and compassionate with yourself while you're going through these big changes, right? Because you're going through a rebirth. So that's always a little bit strange in places, and yeah, a little bit confusing. So just give yourself time to adapt to this new whole version of yourself coming into light, right? Because you're always whole and complete, right? But you now got this in your awareness. So that's the game changer, okay? So in regards to the Moonology deck, the first card you got is a time to give rather than take, new moon in Virgo. So you could have Virgo in your chart, or that could be relevant to whoever you are connecting with at this time. But I feel like with this card coming up here, it's essentially saying that the best thing you can do is really, like I said, I feel like this is more about not just nurturing your connections and being able to express love without any hesitation, and just be how you wish to be towards people, what feels innate and good and positive to you, without any concerns of what you'll get back or how it'll play out or what they might do. Just give because you want to, do what you want to, let it flow from the heart, right? But also giving that love to yourself, right? Like I said, nurturing the inner child within yourself, because that part of you is really coming to the forefront in a big way because of this rebirth that you're experiencing, right? So it's allowing the inner child to come full force back into you know, the conscious aspect of yourself as well. So you might find yourself doing things you haven't done in many years, or embarking in new creative things that make your heart soar, you know, things that make you feel very positive and supercharged. So that's the best thing that you can do for yourself right now. Okay, and the next card you have is have faith in your dreams, waxing crescent moon. So that's beautiful as well. And this is reminding you that you have a well of, you know, information stored within you. There is so much that you can accomplish, you just don't realize it yet necessarily, okay? So it's really asking you to hone in on that and realize that actually your dreams are valid, no matter what was said to you in the past, no matter how difficult it's been to make certain things come together. Your dreams are still as valid as anyone else's. So if you put the work in, if you align with the right energies, if you associate with the right connections, people that will support your vision as well, or will be able to provide assistance where needed, and you consistently put in the work and hold that belief, then anything is possible. So it's worth investing in it. I love that. That's so beautiful. Aww. Okay, so let's see what the tarot has to say in relation to this. But it's a really beautiful energy. I love this for you, Sagittarius. You guys deserve this. Okay, you need this energy, I feel, after all of the cycles and challenges that you've faced. You know, this is going to be really nourishing for you, I feel. Okay. So in regards to the tarot, the first card you got was the Empress. Okay, so very much Taurus energy. So you could be dealing with a Taurus, but with Virgo there, it could very strongly be a Virgo as well. The energies are very much aligned here. So it could be a Virgo you're dealing with or have it in your chart prominently. Either way, I feel like this is you stepping up to the plate, becoming the Empress. You were, sorry, I just nearly hit something. stepping up to the plate, being the Empress you were born to be, right? Even if you're a masculine, that's fine. This is talking about the divine feminine aspects. That's coming through very strongly in your reading, okay? And it's not to say that it's not relevant for you still if this resonates, because as you know, we all have the divine feminine and masculine attributes. So this is archetypal energy, and it's about you stepping up and embodying your true energy, which is that of the Empress, right? In this case, you know, getting to the point where you have all of your bases covered, that you can be playful and joyful and express yourself wholeheartedly, but still very grounded in your wisdom and your approach and methodical, but while still being able to see the logistics in things, reason, you know, say what needs to be said without the intent to harm, and be very compassionate and empathetic at the same time. It's having all of those attributes and finding a beautiful balance between them all. That is the energy of the Empress. So that's what you're stepping into with this rebirth. Really beautiful. And that is also mirrored in this card here with the Isis mother, right? She is essentially the goddess form of the Empress here. So amazing. Okay, the next card you got is the Moon in reverse. So Pisces energy, I also associate with Cancer. So I feel like at this time it's coming into your awareness, particularly with the solar eclipse with the new moon in Cancer. I feel like right now you're getting to the point where you're realizing that this transformation is taking place, this rebirth is taking place. You're starting to see it and feel it on a cellular level, all the way to, you know, how things play out in your reality, right? So it's deep transformation, and you're feeling it and you're seeing it. It's not something that's kind of just happening in the background anymore. It's coming to the forefront, right? And you're understanding better why this had to take place and how it's going to better serve you moving forward. So very positive. And then finally, the last card you got was the Five of Cups in reverse, water energy, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Could very well be dealing with the Pisces with that energy there. But anyway, regardless, what's being communicated here is that, yeah, I feel like maybe in the past you used to really be fixated on the things that didn't quite work out, that didn't come together, and it used to really get you down. It used to make you feel like giving up. Because you're like, what's the point? Every time I try something, I put all of this work in, I get a little way forward, and then everything comes crashing down. It just doesn't work for me. Things don't go to plan. You know, people leave, this happens, that doesn't come together. It just doesn't work. So what's the point? But then you've come to a place now where you realize that energy isn't going to serve you. That while, yes, things in the past may not have worked out as you had planned, not according to plan, you've realized that there were always still positives within the situation. There were still things that you had you had to be grateful for. There were still things that still did work in your favor, even if your goals didn't quite come together, right? So you're realizing now where maybe there were some elements of sabotage, self-sabotage, or maybe when you were just focused on the wrong things, you know, you were focused on one thing that didn't come together when there were 4 other things that did come together, maybe, you know. So it's that kind of thing. You're kind of seeing things from a new perspective now and realizing, okay, just because it didn't work in the past doesn't mean I should give up on my vision entirely. that maybe I just need to approach it differently. Maybe I need to get other people involved. Maybe I wasn't in the right place at that time to do it. Maybe it just didn't, it was, the timing was off, right? So you're looking at it very differently now, which is good, because that gives you the ability to try new things, try a new approach, maybe change the goalpost a little bit, right? It gives you the chance to reevaluate how you can best approach this with this new lens that you have. So I hope this helps anyway, Sagittarius. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this reading useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. I'd love to see you here on my little community as part of that. And yeah, I'll be doing a monthly reading for you guys very soon, along with the other signs. So do stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I'm wishing you all so much positivity, good health, you know, good vibes across the board. Okay, I think we all need it at this time, and I feel like there is a renewed sense of compassion, love, support, and warmth coming in to really help us at this time. So do draw that in, and don't be afraid to spread it, you know, share it with others. Okay, that's what it's all about. So in the meantime, take care of yourselves, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.